stream didn't restart up for any of that.
Awesome.
I apologize to everyone, and I apologize to you, Kubi.
Yeah.
But we're gonna look
just
at
get
this.
right into the
This is
game.
the draft.
Yeah.
We're gonna be going here. You can look at it just real quick. We see Illidan, Nazeebo, Vala, Brightwing, Chen, and Falstead, Arthas, Muradin, Malfurion, Raynor. Apologies for missing on that. Just some weird tech stuff going on our end here. The game's starting up. We got our bands, Tychus, Kerrigan, and yeah, we're
Let's
good
get
to go
into
here.
this. Game number 3 between Wildfire and Glorious. This is it. This is for all the marbles. Winner obviously stays in the winner's bracket. Loser has to go to the shark-infested waters of the loser's bracket. And once you're out there, you are done for this monthly with such a huge prize pool on the line. Nobody wants to be there. This is a lot on the line. A lot on the line. All right, so yeah, I think as soon as we're done introducing the teams, we'll quickly go back over the draft just to talk about the big points. But to start things off, for the blue team, for Glorious, we have Syracuse on Nazeebo. Kathan Luck will be playing Vala. ZPs on Chen. Narak will be playing Brightwing, the support. And Glaurung will be on Illidan.
And on the other side, we have Arthas being played by Pickles. Bims will be on Falstead once again. Raynor played by Wargreymon Iacona, playing Malfurion this game. And Muradin played by Poom. So mixing up a little bit, having no double tank this game from the single tank of Stitches, and they have, this is kind of a reactionary play to. They're worried about Nazeebo, and everybody's worried about Nazeebo right now because in the past weeks we've seen Nazeebo just tear people apart.
Sure. Yeah. So really quick, just the big part of the drafting that happened, we didn't see Nazeebo banned. Nazeebo was picked up very early, counter ban. We saw. Muradin was taken just because he has a ton of stuns, also to deal with Vala's Strafe. And then we see Chen, Brightwing counter-picked to that counter-pick just to sort of zone people out if possible. So a lot of the game is going to revolve around that interaction, dealing with Ravenous Spirit because of the huge DPS, dealing with Strafe, and the counter heroes that each team has chosen to deal with that situation. So it's really cool, back and forth in the drafting. So I'm sorry we weren't able to really cover that for you guys, just some technical issues, but they'll be fixed for the next games coming up.
And I mean, just triple bottom lane, and we see the rotation here from Pickles trying to get some nice dodge, nice dodge, just going down, not going with it, because if that Howling Blast hit right wing, Narak was dead. Like with 4 members there, Narak was
especially dead. A lot of DPS available to them. Okay, so some talents that we see taken on level 1. We have the, of course, upgraded trait for Nazeebo. That takes every time he kills an enemy with his auto attacks, he gets permanent health and permanent mana. So the longer the game goes on, the stronger Nazeebo gets in that sense. Everything else is looking pretty standard. We do see Bribe taken on Brightwing. Of course, allows them to cap mercenary camps if you've witnessed or been in the area of a certain amount of creeps dying. And the only other maybe particularly interesting pick would be Raynor has decided to go with Season's Marksman. Again, that's just to upgrade into that auto attack build like we saw in Game 1. Perhaps, really, really nice dash there from Glaurung just to dodge that Howling Blast. That would have put him very low, if not killed him.
And this root here on Syracuse is actually going to get the kill, just barely getting the final blast up there from Falstead. Nicely done. Really nice Howling Blast.
Yeah, I think...
or the root.
Yeah, the root was really good. And I think you might have been talking about that during the time that the stream was down, but you were mentioning that the alleyways going into and out of that bottom shrine there, and even on the top shrine as well, it's like the perfect size for the root. So if you know that someone's inside there, you can put the root down, and for a good 3 seconds or so,
there's just so many points on this map where, I mean, it's the same thing for Nazeebo. Wall of the Dead, same kind of thing. Perfect zoning, Howling Blast. There's a lot of things that just do really, really well in those tight spaces. And on the top lane, we like to see, I mean, we see Hammer play very, very frequently. You know, Hammer likes to just sit in there. See the rotation from Falstead coming in here. We can try to bully ZPs out, try to get this first Dragonite of the map, but we see a lot of aggression here on the bottom shrine as well.
So I see that Malfurion has also gone with Protective Shield. I would guess that Iacona on Malfurion is going to be going a very heavy protective build. He's really dancing around. I'm not really sure what he's doing there. I'm not sure if that was pathing issues
goodness, the actual knockback from Wargreymon pushed Vala back far enough so the multi-shot couldn't get off and get the kill on Iacona. What a play by Wargreymon, because Iacona should not be alive right now.
It was. I'm not sure what he was doing there, if he was just trying to walk around the bush to the left.
I think his
pathing was just messing up, and he kept trying to correct it, and he just caught himself in the middle, no man's land there.
Probably shouting right now, but But nice plays either way. I mean, all teams soaking the lanes. We see the top shrine is, of course, Wildfire, bottom shrine for Glorious right now, and just kind of soaking.
Yeah. So, like I was saying just before that little skirmish happened, I imagine that Iacona is going a probably a full heal build. I imagine he will take Tranquility. He has so many large targets with huge health pools on his side of the team. He just needs to keep them alive. It seems just very risky to go with the silence in this situation. He's never going to be far enough forward to deal with Ravenous Spirit with the silence, so he's going to go full heal, I imagine.
Yep.
And we do see him take the Enduring Regrowth at level 7.
Now, Shrines have flipped entirely,
Yes.
but Glorious lost. Remember, they did lose Illidan, and Illidan will be back in just a minute. Cloudlink has a backup here, the Death Blow going on, not doing enough damage. The shielding from Brightwing being pretty solid here. Nirak, we've actually only ever see play Brightwing.
Yeah.
I want to point that out. Like, literally,
Yeah,
every
he's
single game
gotten
we've
gotten
seen
away
him.
with taking Brightwing. He has a very solid Brightwing, so you know, if this was a longer series and they felt as though the Emerald Winds were really causing a problem, it might want to try to deal with stealing that. Glaurung is out of position. Oh, that was a really nice snipe from Wargreymon there that pushed him into the wall around the turret there, and that was perfect. Everything lined up so well for them to kick that kill. Really nicely played.
I want to give
by
ZP some credit there as well, because Glaurung did go for the dodge down, but ZP's threw the Howling Blast middle of the road. He threw it in a position where it might hit both ways.
Yeah.
And just nicely done, covering as many options as he could.
They're able to capitalize, take the
cheeky.
4 Giants. I love it. No, that's the kind of heads-up play that you see. It's like they got, made a really nice play, and they know that they have slight advantage for just a few seconds. Why not move forward into the other enemy's lane and take their Giants?
And they got both Giants. They got their Giants. I'm sure they bribed them. Bims does
a lot of pressure
bribe?
bottom.
Yep.
Yeah,
Bims and Nirax with a bribe on each team. And right now, Brightwing doesn't have her bribe to use because all the Giants have been taken. So she could take them on Knights if she wanted to. But that's not going to be happening all that soon. The Giants are going to fall here. We have just, the top lane being pretty static. And in the middle here, he goes with the Howling Blast on Chthon Luck, but he's not going to be able to burn him down.
Yep. Okay, so we do see that level 10 has been reached. For Wildfire, they have been, we saw them take that early kill. They have a lot of pressure in all the lanes, so they find themselves with a 1-level lead going into it. And yeah, as we expected, we do see, I believe that is Tranquility, and so that's going to be extra healing for their team. And we have seen Poom on Muradin is going Avatar that gives him a stun every time he auto-attacks, a quarter-second stun. He's going to make use of this to deal with the Ravenous Spirit coming out of Glorious. Also the Strafe, if he manages to find himself in a position close enough to auto-attack.
Now, just want to point this out, Brightwing went top with Illidan. So we had Brightwing used 2 bribe stacks on the Knights, and Illidan cleaned up the other 2 Knights while Brightwing left. Now they're rotating over to these Knight camps as well. Glorious was out of position, and Wildfire took this bottom fort for free. They saw Glorious wasn't there, and they just went for it. Glorious opting to now rotate over to the Knights, but here we have Bims in the top lane trying to defend, and they're going to get a double Knight push in the top lane.
That's nice, and they're gonna be able to deplete a lot of the ammo, but they only need a couple people to rotate up. The Knights aren't as strong as taking like a 6 giant push that used to be possible on the bottom of this map. Even a 4 giant push is much scarier than a double Knight push.
Very true. Very true.
I like that they took the opportunity to have they're bottom taking our fort. We should do something to retaliate on the top side of the map. They did what they could, but just, it's Wildfire knows the position they have was strong, and even if they manage to take the best case scenario, Glorious, in taking the Knights up there, it's not going to equate to taking a top fort.
Yeah, so a trading of the shrines here, Wildfire not going to let them get both shrines. They see that they're going to be grabbing the bottom, they grab the top, and at the meantime, Glorious going to be pushing down these middle towers. Pretty passive. Both teams just kind of going to the opposite side of the map, rotating around the map right now. Everybody's just really trying to get some
it's going to end up in favor of Wildfire just because they have that advantage. They're taking stronger parts of the map. They're taking forts.
Yeah, you're right.
So I wouldn't be necessarily opposed to seeing Bims fly down on Falstad to take that bottom shrine and get a Dragon Knight. But what they're doing is fine too.
Yeah, I think they're waiting for this. They get the party push ready here. ZPs goes in. He's going to take a lot of damage. Glaurung goes in with the Metamorphosis right away, but the Raiders are going down. A big shock and all hitting all three members right there, but the Emerald Wind to push them back, try to disengage a little bit. Didn't do a lot of work, and Glaurung is taking a lot of damage in the front line. Wall of the Dead just kind of trying to zone out. Muradin immediately on the Nazebo saying, look, if you try to do anything cheeky, I'm right here. Just going to stay on him. Poom, I like this play. And just they're forced to disengage. I mean, there's so much the same here. Poom is getting quite low, but if he backs up, his regeneration is insane.
So a lot happened and nothing happened in that fight. To be honest, there was a lot of DPS thrown around from each side. Syracuse decided not to use his Ravenous Spirit. He he saw the positioning that he saw from Wildfire and said, there's no way I'm going to be able to activate this without it getting interrupted within a second. Because he saw that Poom still had his leap, his Dwarf Toss off cooldown, and of course he's going to be able to go in and get a stun in there immediately. So we saw a lot of nothing happening because Glorious wasn't able to do what they wanted. Everything that Wildfire has set up in their team composition is to deal with Ravenous Spirit. So if he doesn't cast it, then not really a whole lot happens in the team fight unless they catch someone out of position. Just the way things ended up working out, there was a lot of damage dealt, but no one died.
It was well played by both teams.
Yeah, I would
mean,
agree.
and like we talked about in our draft where we were not live because of exploit things, we were saying that the focus is going to be all over the place because you have to worry about Strafe, you have to worry about Revenant Spirit, and you have to worry about an Illidan that's in the front lines.
Right.
And we saw them go on Illidan, and Illidan just used evasion and kind of backed up. And then they kind of turned around, and we saw Poom was just kind of on permanent Nazebo control.
Oh, look at this positioning.
This
Glorious
is
is going to push them into their side of the map.
And they have to go in. They have to go in. Ravenous Spirit is going to get a lot of value here. We see Poom trying to rotate up. The Emerald wins the zone here and the Polymorph, so the Ravenous Spirit gets so much duration. Very well done by Nirak. The Ravenous did so much work. Immediately, Glaurung's in the front line, just kind of going ham on them and just all over them. Now, they had the right idea. Poom was, again, on Nazebo duty immediately, but he got zoned out by the Emerald Wind and the Poly for so long it didn't matter.
That's what we were talking about when it was the counter to the counterplay. They know that they needed Chen to deal with Muradin. They needed the Emerald Wind to push him out if he decided to leap in. Really heads up play in that situation. Also, I was watching Glaurung's Illidan in that fight. He was just dancing around all over the place. As soon as the shock and awe went down, he was out of the way. They spent a lot of effort trying to kill Illidan, and they just weren't even able to do it. Even if he had died in that particular team fight, it still would have been good for them. But as it is, they got a 3 for nothing. It's going to give them a huge push going forward.
So much credit to Syracuse and Nirak there, because Nirak just literally body blocked the shots. Poom had to walk around the Brightwing to try to throw off his skill shot, and then just pop it. I'm really pleased with that play. Really, really heads up stuff, and they get the Dragonite for it. Well done by Glorious here, and they have a slight advantage now.
Yep, they do, and they're gonna be that much closer to hitting level 16. Of course, that's when you get a giant power surge for both teams. When you hit that level, they are about a level up and a half level away from hitting that, so we might be able to see if Glorious continues to play the way they're playing, take those team fights just the way they were. They might be able to sort of ride that momentum forward.
Yeah, well, we see ESV Wildfire wants to push forward here, though. They don't want to just give it up. They want to take some towers in return here, get some experience, get closer to 16, because, like you said, that power surge is scary, and they're worried about it.
And we just see that they have taken it. We see things like the critical attack after flying kick from Chen. That's going to boost his DPS up quite a bit. The polymorph targets will take 25% more damage, so whoever they choose to polymorph, they will be able to eliminate them very quickly. Blood for Bloods on Vala and Illidan, just to increase their survivability and to take some damage out on the bigger targets and slow them as well. And of course, we see the upgraded Voodoo Ritual, which deals 300% more damage to heroic targets.
You know, Wildfire was well aware of the Knights being taken there. And they had the opportunity to go in there, but when they thought about it, they said, look, they got Panda Pals, they got Ravenous Spirit behind the wall, and Emerald Wind. Yep. We absolutely cannot engage on that, so I'm glad they didn't go in there, because if they did, it probably would have been a disaster.
Yeah. They really have to pick and choose their fights at this point and take the right risks. They have to take a risk at some point, but they got to take the right ones. And the ones that are going to give them the best chance to come back. And that was one that's very small number of times is that going to end up working out in your favor.
They're in position, where's the Nazebo, where's the Brightwing? They don't know exactly where Neverwin is. They don't know the positioning. Of course. Nice steal here by Glorious again, getting the Giants, just going with the bribes on Brightwing, stealing them, and Pickle's out of position here. He's taking a lot of damage, and right away he has to pop his heroic to actually try to stay alive here. The Banshees go down. The Shotgun doing a lot of damage, getting a kill on Illidan, so Glorious is out of this fight. Poom is going to go on in. Where's the Ravenous? There it is, doing a lot of damage, but it does get interrupted. But in the meantime, 2 kills down here. Iacona getting very low shield ally, and the heal is going to be enough to keep him alive.
That was the right way to escape for Iacona there, because he knew that his Entangling Roots would cover that entire escape path. ZPS was unable to leap over that with his Q in Panda Pals, so he wasn't able to chase. So nice way to sort of scramble and salvage what they had. They did take the loss in that fight 2-1. It was a pretty good shock and awe to get rid of Illidan there.
I mean, did a lot of damage.
Nicely lined up, but the rest of the Emerald Wind, and then they were able to sort of isolate, focus down Poom on Muradin, who was dealing with the Ravenous Spirit.
All right, so pretty nice. Nirak goes at the top lane to take the Shrine. In the meantime, Glorious says, all right, we're going to get the bottom Knights and then the Shrine, but we have the steal on the Knights here and the Shrine. So nicely done by Wildfire, just putting all their focus on one thing, even though Nirak did get this Shrine. Poom is just going to be cleaning up here with Wargreymon in the top lane, and they can see this. I mean, Glorious is well aware this is happening. They know they've only got 3 men out on the map, so they're getting aggressive in the bottom lane. 1 member goes down already. No more Iacona. Pickle's going to fall as well. And in the bottom lane, these forts are going to fall really quick. The Shrine's going to be grabbed, and the Dragonite is going to be here for their picking. Puma is on his way to this top Shrine, and they might be able to stop it just in time. Oh my goodness, Chthon Luck taking a lot of damage. Forcing Metamorphosis.
Okay, so it was smart of what Wildfire was doing in that situation. It does look like they're going to be able to get the kill. I don't know if I agree with him popping
Yeah.
Ravenous Spirit in that situation. If he was level 20, where he gets the increased speed, might have been able to catch up to Falstad.
I think he was hoping Glowron could get on the other side and body block.
Ah, yes.
I think that's what he was hoping for, and it
sense.
just didn't happen.
Yeah. Even still, is it really necessary? They're so far ahead. Like, why
Yeah.
not just save it for,
I mean,
future
I'm with
team
you.
fights?
I'm with
Yeah.
you. But you know, if you
It's
can
a
get
long
2 kills,
cooldown. It's 80
that's a
seconds,
huge
so-
thing. That's a huge deal if you can get the 2 kills. But
Okay, so backing up just a little bit, we saw that Wildfire was in a position where they lost a couple teammates. They know, like, okay, we need to go up, cancel the top shrine, and in the meantime, we need to make sure that we have someone who can poke middle. And they were able to rotate in that situation. They held it up for just a little bit. It was a good rotation from Syracuse to move up because he saw that that situation was going to happen. He was able to provide support to the Illidan, and they were able to string a couple kills together. And here we have, they have the Dragon Knight. They should be able to push forward, clean up this bottom fort if they so choose, and I imagine they'll be able to get a keep out of it as well.
yeah, I mean, this Dragon has got another 45 seconds on it, and that's a long time here in Heroes of the Storm, and he's got a lot of health as well, so they're just going to play a little bit passively, grouping together here. Now, that is the Nazeebo within the Dragon Knight, so
Yes,
you
it
don't
is,
want to
yep.
get too far forward, because if you're out of that Dragon Knight, does he have Sprint available here? Let's take a look at the talent.
He does,
really
he does.
quick.
He
So
did
does
take
have
Sprint to level
so
13.
He does have Sprint, so he has to get out. He does have that available, but he's just going to keep on focusing down on these forts.
We do have a strafe available. Glaurung is going in with Metamorphosis.
He's going in hard, and Bim's taking a lot of damage, but Glaurung is getting focused so quickly, and he's down almost immediately. Now the punt is there, knocking a member out. Shotgun actually went down, but Poom gets polyed, and Poom's taking a lot of damage. Emerald Wind trying to zone here, not doing a lot. They don't have that Ravenous Spirit. That's not a threat.
Yeah.
They don't even have to think about it, so they're able to put their focus on other things.
And he interrupted the strafe almost instantly.
Yeah, so I mean, without the triple things to worry about, I mean, the Dragon Knight's not nearly as scary as a Ravenous Spirit. Like
They put the wrong person in the Dragon Knight there, I would say. Even putting
Yes and no,
Chthon Luck. I
but-
mean, he was in the situation, so it's like you have to make the call. We can take the Dragon Knight now or risk that they're going to be able to come up and interrupt us.
But at the same time, Ravenous Spirit's on cooldown, so it's like, okay, I'm not going to have that in the battle anyways.
I
Maybe
think it
I'll
was
do-
available for that fight if he wasn't
Maybe it
in
was
the Dragon Knight. So
it's a tough call, and like you said, you might be right. Now they're going to go for these knights here, but Wildfire is right on this other side. They have to be careful here. They're well aware of their presence. Wildfire probably doesn't know they're taking the knights, but they probably assume. And they're going to get a fort for this, trading for the knights, so this is definitely a win for Wildfire.
Yep.
Giants pushing bottom, Wildfire moving on up as they come down. No backing on up here.
That said, they are a level and a half behind, getting to that race to 20.
Yeah, that's a good
where
point.
we see teams that are able to pick up really strong talent, such as Resurgence, upgrades to their heroics that give them a lot more utility. So both teams are obviously going to be scrapping to get there as fast as possible. Wildfire is behind in that race, so they have to be very careful. If they take a loss in a team fight here, that's surely going to give Glorious the edge getting to 20, and they will probably be able to push at least taking a keep in that situation.
Well, Knight v Knights in the top lane. The last Merc camp on the map is going to be taken here by Wildfire. They're Giants, and we have all 5 members of Glorious funneling down through the middle here. They're going to sit in the party bush. No, maybe just going to clean up here, make sure they take care of these mercenaries, and teams are just roaming as 5 at this point. Shrines still down, and it's just kind of each team feeling each other out. There's no real reason to fight, and yeah, they have the same idea. Hey, if you come up here, we're just going to obliterate you. We see the pings here, and both teams just kind of passively. 25 seconds till Shrines.
Yep. And there's no need for Glorious to get cheeky here to try to push forward. They are just about to hit level 20. This gives ZP's Resurgence.
They're skirting.
They're skirting around. They're going to take the bottom knights here. Yeah, I think both teams are sort of just waiting for those shrines to come up.
Well, ZP's goes in hard right away. The Ravenous Spirit is right here. It's so hard for them to get in there, unless Meriden goes over the wall, but doesn't actually know where the Nazeebo is. Now Bims is here, but the bolt forward from Glaurung over that wall, just going hard onto Bims here. And
that's the only way I have to describe that.
They got torn apart.
They did. Again, the Emerald Wind.
No ace.
No ace. But, I mean, the Emerald Wind was positioned really nicely. Good heads up on Glorious to know exactly where Wildfire was. So they had a great position for Nazeebo just to stand on the other side of that shrine, or inside the shrine, and just Ravenous Spirit over the wall. They're going to be able to back up here, take a very, very easy Dragon Knight.
Look at ZP.
This is scary.
Tanking up shots, just saying, look, we're going to tank up shots. We're going to grab the Dragon Knight. Syracuse in it once again here. The Knights here picked up by Brightwing, using those bribe stacks, just cleaning it up. Like, you don't think Brightwing wouldn't go alone to take Knights, but they have so far ahead, winning a team fight 4-0, and it just literally took everything on the map.
Yeah. This is going to be a rough position. They're going to have to, they're going to be pushing into the core immediately after this. Everyone will be up, so they have to try to figure out a way to position themselves around the core to deal as much damage as possible to repel the Dragon Knight. Wow, okay, it looks as though Glorious is backing up.
Yeah, they're playing passively. They're going to take down that wall.
Yeah.
They got the keep. Good enough. Let's get another keep. Let's not get too over aggressive here, because all 5 members are up.
Yep.
Now, they don't have 20.
Yeah.
And that's a big thing to consider, because we can look at the talents here. Yeah. We can see what we have here.
That's going to be two Resurgence, one on Muradin and Arthas. Whether the other members decide to take Blink or upgrade into their level 20s, but it's a lot of utility that Wildfire is looking to get.
That's what they don't have yet. Right. So it's a scary position to be in when you're waiting for those Resurgences. You don't have them available. Now, Dragon Knight is going to be able to get this fort. It does have another 20 seconds left on it still, so the other keep.
Glorious is getting. They're not getting too crazy team fight wise because they don't have that Ravenous Spirit.
Right.
The threat isn't there, so I guess I can agree with what they're doing. It's still, I'm not sure about Syracuse taking the Dragon Knight. They could. I would prefer to see them throw Vala in there, even Illidan. Illidan can get out.
Well, they dropped the Dragon Knight, and they're just gonna hang out here. They're waiting. They don't want to drop the aggression yet. They still have 2 keeps down. Yeah. They have the level 20 win their opponents do not. 22 at that 3-level lead right now.
And this late in the game, it's kind of rare to see, to be honest. If a game is so lopsided going up to that point, usually it would have ended by now.
And it's interesting because it's only been lopsided for the last few minutes.
Oh yeah. Wildfire has put up a very good fight, and so let's start to brainstorm ways that Wildfire can actually come back in this game, because things I mean, no sugarcoating it, it's grim for Wildfire.
It's grim for sure. And we saw a few good plays out of them. The thing is though, they have such a look at this Ravenous Spirit, and look how far back it is. Now, Poom goes in right away. The Emerald Wind is a little bit late, so he does get the stun on the Ravenous Spirit, which is really nice, and Glaurung's going to fall for it. And that's the kind of stuff they need. I mean, Poom was there just in time, but it was almost a misplay out of Brightwing. Brightwing could have saved the Polymorph Emerald Wind. She could have been ready. Could have been a little bit more on point with that. So 1-for-1 trade. They're not dead yet. This wasn't good for Wildfire, but it helps them get 20, and now for the next team fight, they're on even footing. Actually, we missed a kill on Muradin as I'm sitting here talking a little bit too much. Resurgence was picked up and grabbed this Muradin right back up. So 2-for-1 for Glorious.
2-for-1. Yeah, like you were saying, like that was the right approach to the team fight. They were able to get in there and stun out the Ravenous Spirit. Unfortunately, just the way the rest of the team fight sort of unfolded, they didn't end up taking an advantage. But that's the type of team fight that they need to take. And up until this point, the critical team fights that are happening around level 16 through 20, they were all going in the way of Glorious. They were able to get the Brightwing to Polymorph and Emerald Wind to push Muradin away, and they're relying so much on Muradin. So it's coming down to Poom being able to outsmart Brightwing in terms of where his positioning is when he leaps in, or finding some way to get Brightwing away from the Zebo. That's really what's going to come down to. They may not even have an answer for that, looking at what they have.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like Brightwing's an easy target to kill, because Brightwing has a lot of utility and a lot of healing.
Of course.
But, like you said, I mean, really just obliterating that Nazebo is a priority thing for them, and Brightwing's done a good job being a bodyguard for Nazebo. Top shrine here goes to Wildfire, bottom shrine goes to Glorious. We've got Glorious just going on in across the map, running right by the minions. They can see this. They're hearthing immediately, knowing that Glorious is going for their core, and they just turn around. They just say,
was a bait.
We force you back.
I love
Brightwing
it.
goes to the top lane.
Oh
He's
my
going to cap
God.
the shrine, and this Dragon Knight's going to be picked
That's
up.
so smart.
That is what, I mean, they're not, where are they? Are they going to be able to get it in time? We see them rushing right down the middle lane.
Oh my
They're
God.
trying to stall here. The massive bait by Glorious.
I love it. That was so good.
But CP is getting super low. Going to have to pop Panda Pop to survive here.
Really
Boom got there just in time to stop the Dragon Knight from being picked up. So they managed to take a hold on the situation. The Emerald Wind, the continuous winds, doing so much work here, disrupting them, doing a lot of damage. Bims is going to follow Glaurung. Wargreymon able to bolt on out, is going to be able to survive. It looks like it. Pickles and Iacona trying to zone them, but what a series of events. The Ravenous Spirit, it's so far back from casting from that far, just doing so much damage. Glaurung dies at the last second.
Yeah. Wow. Just that play, just to force the position from Wildfire.
So
they knew that Glorious could dive onto their core at any point, and Glorious was well aware that they were top lane. They walked through some of their creeps so they could see them moving as 5 going to the core. And Wildfire's like, oh crap, we have to react to this. We have to move back. As soon as they started knowing that they were going to hearth back, they just turned around and went. They had Brightwing already up in the top lane.
I'm so happy. That
was really cool play. Like. And I was looking at the situation. They had 4 people that were rushing into the core, and they had Brightwing hanging back, and I'm just like, shouldn't she be moving forward?
She can
face shift over, but I mean, it takes a little bit of time.
But that's why it's such a smart play, because she can be there at any moment. So for her being out of position, for whatever reason, if it was the wrong call to be there, you have that omnipresence. You have that flexibility of Brightwing. It's just a strength of Brightwing, and They didn't get the Dragonite, but they forced a rushed engagement
Yeah,
on the shrine.
Boom had to jump in and pop his cooldowns just to deal with the person that was capping the Dragonite, and that left Syracuse in a great position to use Ravenous Spirit, and we saw him clean up 3 people with it.
And the Emerald win there, too. Like, that was the icing on the cake.
Yeah, they weren't able to do anything. It's like, we need to get to this person. We can't even move. We're just getting constantly pushed by... Oh, really, really nice play from Glorious. That was cool to see. So, nice job to you guys. Of course, we're going to see Wildfire move down into the lower bracket. They're still not out of it. They have a chance in the losers bracket, of course. And we will see ESV Wildfire moving forward. I believe they are going up against Symbiote Gaming.
Glorious is what Corey intended to say there.
So
Glorious moves forward. Wildfire goes into the losers bracket, as you said initially. Yep. And so Glorious will advance to place. We'll have to look at the challenge bracket. Yeah. We can just... Symbiote? Thumbs up, Matthew?
Yes, Symbiote did move forward.
Our tournament director is actually Mr. Cia Steve, is on the other side of the production, running the event right here with us. So Symbiote will advance forward. We're going to update the bracket here for you guys to show a little bit of what's happening here. So both ESV teams fall into the loser bracket for the moment. And we can just take a look at that, and we'll get the other updates in just a second here. We'll figure out what's happening with 2-Arc Clairvoyant.
Clairvoyant actually takes a 2-0 over 2-Arc.
Clairvoyant.
Yes, that is an upset.
This is a absolute upset.
2-Arc has been looking very strong in the past couple of tournaments that they've entered, Kings tournaments specifically. So nice job to Clairvoyant to take that victory. And we see Cloud9 Maelstrom taking a 2-0 over Evil Geniuses.
So Cloud9 taking a 2-0 over EG. Not really an upset. Cloud9 has been playing incredibly well. So we'll see Cloud9 versus
Clairvoyant.
Yes. And Kubi, my question to you is, which game would you rather cast?
Oh my!
Do we have an option?
No, I think. Okay. Okay, so I think we're going to be going forward. Cia Steve is telling us that Cloud9 is already in their game versus Clairvoyant. So we're going to be casting Symbiote versus Glorious.
And that sounds quite good to me.
Either game is going to be exciting because we have, like I said, we have a ton of killers in this tournament here. And it honestly didn't matter who moved forward. It was going to be an exciting game. So
yeah, and this is just the winners bracket. Of course, all the teams that you see grayed out here are in fact competing in the losers bracket. And this is the one stream, so we're going to be releasing replay packs of the event for all the matches. For we might cast some more games throughout the week. Other casters are going to hop in and get an opportunity to cast some games. But it's just the one stream for today. We got the $1,000 prize pool here that these teams are competing for.
It's a big one. The biggest yet.
The biggest yet
for a single tournament. Yes, it's a big one. So I think we're going to probably go to a quick break, and we'll try to get that other game set up for you guys. That's going to be SMG versus Glorious in round 2 of Kings of the Storm 4.
Stay tuned, guys.